Welcome to The Explainer. In this briefing, we're going to unpack the key developments that are really shaping Vietnam's dynamic innovation landscape.
So, in the first half of November 2025, Vietnam's innovation scene was just buzzing with activity. We're seeing this really clear shift away from those short-term bets and more towards long-term, sustainable growth. And what's fueling this? Well, it's rising investor optimism and a big wave of strategic capital. So, let's break down exactly what's been happening.
All right, first up, let's follow the money. We're going to look at where the capital is flowing and what kinds of new ventures are being created.
Kicking things off in the direct-to-consumer space, the fashion brand 𝐂𝐈-𝐖𝐄𝐄𝐏 just successfully closed its Series C funding round. Now, this one was led by Vertex Growth Fund, and what's really notable here is the strategic mix of international capital it attracted. We're talking everyone from Japan's Cool Japan Fund to Korea's Youngwon CVC. And on top of that, they got a strong vote of confidence from the returning investors.
So, what are they doing with all this new capital? Well, it's fueling a really ambitious three-pronged expansion. First, their Go Women strategy is targeting that super lucrative activewear market. Then, Go Global is all about scaling their international presence, building on some early success they had in the US. And finally, Go Offline marks a pretty significant move into physical retail. Look, these aren't small steps. This is a clear roadmap for market dominance by 2030.
Okay, shifting gears now from fashion to finance, there's a huge move happening in the sustainable sector. The Dutch Entrepreneurial Development Bank, that's FMO, has partnered up with HD Bank. They've signed what's called a Memorandum of Understanding, or an MOU, and the whole point is to channel investment into green finance. The big goal here? To really accelerate sustainable economic growth in Vietnam.
And you can really see the scale of this ambition. HD Bank is preparing a $100 million international green bond program just for 2025. And get this, FMO has already committed to being a key investor. This move, it absolutely signals some serious momentum for Vietnam's entire green finance market.
All right, let's zoom in a bit and look at the grassroots level, where that next generation of founders is being nurtured. There's this new Univentures program. It's a partnership between Block 71, the Temasek Foundation, and Vietnam's National Innovation Center. It's designed to build a talent pipeline basically from university to unicorn. And the demand? It's just undeniable. They got nearly 1,500 applications in their very first intake.
And what really makes this program so valuable is the tangible support it's offering. Founders get access to specialized workshops, direct mentorship from regional VCs, and then a final demo day to pitch their ideas. And as if that's not enough, Golden Gate Ventures is putting up a $250,000 award to fuel the growth of the top 10 startups. That's a huge incentive. But it's not just the startups that are making moves. Let's shift our focus now to the big, established industry leaders and see what their game plans are for the future.
So, check this out. In a really significant move, Vingroup's chairman Pham Nhat Vuong is personally investing in a new aerospace venture called VinSpace JSC. We're talking about a $12 million charter capital, and he's holding a majority 71% stake. So this isn't just some corporate play, it's a crystal clear signal of his personal commitment to launching Vietnam into serious deep tech sectors, like aerospace and satellite manufacturing.
Meanwhile, over in the fintech arena, the Global Shinhan InnoBoost program has been busy identifying the region's rising stars. Out of a pool of more than 200 applicants, they picked 5 top startups for their big innovation showcase. And these ventures, they're coming from all across the region, and they're tackling some really tough challenges. Everything from AI-powered credit analysis to no-code automation.
Now, all this private sector momentum, it isn't happening in a vacuum, right? It's actually being matched by some really proactive government policy that's designed to build a solid foundation for all this future growth.
This is a big one. In what is truly a landmark move, Ho Chi Minh City is launching its very own venture capital fund. They're going to be using the state budget to invest directly into local startups. Now this represents a fundamental shift from just being a regulator to being an active investor. And what's crucial here is a new decree that establishes a legal safe zone. This protects fund managers from liability on those high-risk, high-reward investments, which honestly has been a key barrier that stifled public investment for years.
And expanding on that, if we look at the national level, the Ministry of Science and Technology has proposed a pretty sweeping package of 5 new laws. What's the goal? Well, it's to systematically remove those old institutional barriers and just supercharge growth across the entire innovation ecosystem.
Yeah, and 2 of these proposals in particular really stand out. First up, there's a digital transformation law, and that's all about creating a digital-first government.
The second one is an amended intellectual property law, and this marks a huge mindset shift. We're talking about moving beyond just protecting IP to actively commercializing it, turning ideas into actual tradable, bankable assets. The reforms don't stop there. They also include an amended tech transfer law, which will streamline procedures while still safeguarding national security. And, in a really forward-looking move, Vietnam is proposing its first-ever dedicated artificial intelligence law. This is a big deal. It's going to create a legal framework for things like AI liability and guide the development of a national AI infrastructure.
And finally, that fifth law is an amended high-tech law. This one is aimed squarely at bolstering technological sovereignty. It's designed to support Make in Vietnam enterprises by recognizing that technology is a core pillar of economic security. And it comes with special incentives, earmarked specifically for those strategic sectors like AI and semiconductors.
Of course, these domestic policies are being complemented by some stronger international partnerships. For example, at the recent Vietnam-Korea Digital Forum, the two nations committed to much deeper cooperation on AI. So Korea is going to share its expertise in building things like data centers and legal frameworks, and that provides a really valuable playbook as Vietnam accelerates its own national AI strategy.
And in a similar vein, the relationship with the United Kingdom has been elevated to what's called a comprehensive strategic partnership. This new agreement basically deepens cooperation across a whole broad range of strategic areas. We're talking technology, green energy, and trade, just to name a few.
And you know what? This partnership comes with some pretty significant financial backing. UK Export Finance has made a potential £5 billion credit line available for projects in Vietnam. That's a huge amount of capital to help turn all these strategic goals into a reality.
So, when you step back and look at the whole picture, what do you see? You see this incredibly powerful alignment across the entire ecosystem. We're talking from grassroots startups and venture capital all the way up to corporate giants and proactive national policy. It really feels like all the pieces are moving in the same direction, and that leaves us with one key question to think about. Is Vietnam poised for a real breakout moment on the global innovation stage?